Let's go. Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me. Cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get the topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Alrighty then, what is going on, everybody out there on the internet, YouTube world, everything? How everybody doing? And put me on the screen right there. How you guys doing? Hope you all doing well. This is your boy Tig from Project Open Mic G3 Records, as we are here for another Project Open Mic. First of all, I want to apologize. Last week I didn't held a show because at that time I have family coming here to my house, and my mom came at the exact same time I was starting the show, so it made no sense to do a show. So I apologize for that, not letting anybody know about that, because basically all my family is convenient in my home, so we can celebrate my grandmother's birthday and have a family reunion and everything. So I apologize for that. But I'm back in the saddle once again. Of course, if you didn't know, we also did the side chat, so you could go catch that out. But with that said, we had that, and of course, I want to thank everybody out there who's joining in now, as we are expanded a little bit. We have like I say, we have you other than Facebook. So hi to Facebook, everybody on Facebook. Hi to everybody out there on YouTube. Hi to everybody out there on Tempo.fm, I should say. And also we have joined, we basically hi to everybody out there in Twitch land. So we are expanding, so hopefully everything is good. So if you're on any of these platforms, subscribe, comment on anything you want to do, because Project One is about conversation. But that's what it's going to be about. So again, if you're on Facebook, you know what it is, you see what's going on. If you're on YouTube, you go to the link down as you see right there, Project Open Mic on YouTube. If you want to catch all the back stuff, and that's for people on Twitch. It's just new to Twitch right now, so if you want to catch up on all the stuff, go to there and you on YouTube, and you'll see all the backlog of past Project Open Mic and past shows, so you can catch up to everybody else. And of course, again, if you're on Twitch, hey, follow me on Twitch. We're gonna keep on going to more and more platforms as the show is getting more and more popular. And again, since I know how Tempo FM is, we get a lot of views to Tempo FM, because that was where my old radio show was at, Radio T3, where it was at. So we got a lot of views there, and a lot of people like to stick there. We're humans of habits, so we stick to what we stick to. I understand. But again, if you're on Twitch, hey, join us on Project Open Mic on Twitch. If you want to join, same thing on YouTube, please subscribe, share, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, help us out. And again, to get us up there, we're trying to get also on Spotify and other platforms. So hey, you guys could comment and see what's going on and what we're doing in this show. So with that said, tonight's show, sadly, it is what I want. It was what we're talking about, is something that I kind of wish I said, basically prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong. So for people who have not watched the Project Open Mic, and it started back a long time ago, but officially with full capacity with the new style and new look we have right now, it was in last year of last year March, March, April, something like that. And man, I've been saying stuff over and over and over. One of my special, I would say, one of my learning habits that I love to learn is to pick up my patterns very quickly. And I was saying that a lot of things are going to happen a certain way. And man, I wish I was wrong. I really do wish I was wrong. But you again, for those who follow me through other stuff, I've I've said this was going to some of these stuff was going to be happening. I'm not surprised this was going to be happening. It kind of sucks in that regard, but I wanted to be proven wrong. I really do want to be proven wrong. I want to give the new president, vice president, and then administration the benefit of a doubt. But when they keep on proving me the same way over and over again, it's like, seriously, what the heck? What can I do? So that's basically what we're going to go through tonight. Okay. So first of all, let's get to the topical stuff off the bat, which is everybody is talking about now that the stimulus bill has passed. I'll say it again. Whoopee. $1,400, $300 for each child. That's what the stimulus bill is about. Sorry about that. So according to the White House, they're gonna be out by the end of they're gonna start sending out the checks by the end of the month. Now, that's $1.9 trillion of again. They're about. I'm doing this. I'm doing this on my calculator because I gotta see this again. I remember the number. I forgot what I put in, but I gotta do this because I want to see what is 1 point. 1.9 trillion divided. I mean, again, I'll go to worst case scenario. Let's go 1.9 trillion divided by 300 and this census number. Let's go 350 million. That's every man, woman, child, whatever. How much that's supposed to? How much money that's supposed to be? All right, that's worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. I don't know if it'll pick it up on that, but there you go. 5,428. That's worst case scenario. If that was every man, woman, and child in America, 350, if that's what it was. But let's just go by adults. Let's go by adults. If there was only if you just give it to adults, man, no matter the difference, if adults in America, 1.88 million adults working adults in America, as old as everybody, that's that. I'll put it up again. 10,106. So we're getting $1,400. Where the rest of the money go? I always ask that question because it's annoying to me. The government could give us this money, and that's a change factor that could save a lot of people who are. I am not for big government. Just let anybody know, for those who are going to be listening on Twitch and stuff. I'm not for big government. I'm a libertarian. All right, I am not. There's some things I'm conservative about. There's some things I'm liberal about. But I am. My party affiliation is libertarian. For new people are joining in. But on a serious note, though, where the rest of the money is going to? Where the rest of the money going to? Of course, it's going to the usual. crap all over the world and everything. They get billions of dollars while we get taxed from our money, which I looked at my just got my what do you call it? My property tax went up by 100%, which is ridiculous. A lot of taxes. We're still paying taxes. We're still paying property taxes. We're still doing all this stuff. That goes back, and that gets into something I'll talk about a little bit later, which is annoying the hell out of me. But it just, oh my goodness, where the money going? That's all I want to know. Where the money going? I'd rather have the 10,000. If you're gonna screw me over, Joe and all the Dems and everybody else, why don't you just give me the $10,000? That would change your life. Hell, we wouldn't need all the health care and all the stuff if you just take the money that you get allocate to the which I think was 200 billion now, 250 billion now to the healthcare part of government. Why won't you just split it against all Americans again and just give us that money? We better use it than what the daggone HSA would use it for. The health administration will waste most of it. Of course they will. Put it with the person they got in charge. It'll be wasted. This is how they screw us over and over again. And I'm sorry. I think it's appalling what the government did last year. The scandemic they had when they hold this country hostage just to get what they want. And I'm talking about both parties who did this. But as I said before, I wish they could just prove me wrong. That's all I would ask. But let's go down the nitty gritty and see some stuff right here, because everybody's like, "Oh, great, passing, yeah, 100, whatever." So I want to bring up the remember, all these people talk about, oh, what we're going to do in the first 100 days and all this stuff, from President Trump to Biden to Obama to all this, which is just lip service. That's what it is. But everybody went and did what they did at the voting thing. I'm gonna leave it at that because of YouTube. I don't know Twitch's bylaws, so I'm gonna leave it. When I know what YouTube, how they do certain things. Still trying to get back my video two shows ago back up because I didn't do nothing wrong. Of course, surprise. But I am gonna get that episode back up on YouTube so people can watch that. I do back up my videos when I'm recording because I don't trust these platforms as anything. But let's go and check this out. So Biden's 50 days where does he stand on his key promises? All right. 16 key promises kept out of 61. Most of them he kept by, which is whatever, in progress. My foot is taking actions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Remember, he said, I won't shut down the Keystone pipeline, and he flipped back and forth on that one, and we're gonna get rid of, which I gotta do a video about that. I literally got into the whole thing with the whole carbon neutral crap, which is, look, we're not doing that, and I gotta get deep into that. We're not doing that, okay? We're not gonna be carbon neutral. We're not. It's a possibility. It's just like we're not gonna stop using fossil fuel. It's an impossibility. This right here is made from fossil fuels. This mic I'm talking about, made from fossil fuels. This fossil fuels. This fossil fuels. This phone right here, fossil fuels. The thing that this right here, the case I got it in, fossil fuels are made in it. You're not getting rid of that. I don't know why people let that go. Come on. As I always say, people stupid individuals, be that smart individual people. Think. They're not getting rid of that. You gonna get rid of carbon, or you gonna do? So you gonna? I mean, I know go to the extreme. We gonna stop human carbon? What? You're gonna stop us from breathing? You're gonna stop the house from off gassing? You're gonna stop all the cars to get stuff? Which again, you need more diesel and stuff to dig down to get the batteries and stuff, which is just as toxic as oil. The problem is oil is a natural product. Doing the process to get the cobalt ash and everything, destroy stuff. Look into again how the cobalt ash is in Argentina, how the mines, what they do, and where they dump the water after they dump the water when they process it up. Not a good thing. I did a video about how, and that's the thing. That's the video I'm trying to get back up because I also showed about how these places, the one in Africa, how they got these boys, these desperate. And again, don't get it wrong, coal does the same thing too. I'm not denying it, but you're not gonna do that. And I'm not going through all these stuff because it's just ridiculous. You join the Paris Climate Accord, which is gonna do what? The Paris Climate Accord, where we give the UN a bunch of money for nothing. Because in that same video that got took down from YouTube, I said again, I played the UN's Paris Accord video. It didn't said nothing about what they're gonna do, except for we're gonna hold these countries to be transparent. China ain't gonna do that. Are you kidding me? Russia ain't gonna do that. Nicaragua ain't gonna do that. A lot of these countries are not doing that. They just sign it just for it's a piece of paper. It does not mean nothing. Because right now, China opened up a couple more coal plants. Is the Paris Accord going over there and say, hey, China, stop doing that? No. No, they're not. They're not. So it's just a bunch of nonsense. Economic and taxes. Well, I want to talk about some of that stuff. A lot of people just learn now. We're getting screwed. I'm already. Again, as I said before, the rich get richer, the poor still fight for their crumbs, and the middle class, where I'm at, I am in the middle class, close to the top end of middle class. Where I'm at, we're getting screwed. We're getting bent over and we're getting screwed. That's what we're doing. Increase corporate taxes. I don't think he will do that because he'll be stupid to do that. But if he wants to do that, and then send the jobs that came back from the last administration, a lot of jobs came back to America. What are you gonna do? Send them back overseas again? What sense? Well, we always see that it stifled a lot of stuff with last year with the scandemic. So hell, tighten up. Oh, we're gonna talk about this later on. Tighten up ethics and rules. And they say that's completed. No, it's not. No, hell it ain't not. Justice Department, that also is not completed. It makes no sense for that. Gun control, you ain't getting that pass. Most of the stuff you ain't getting that pass. Rejoin the WHO. Good again, just like the Paris Accord. We pay money for what? For nothing. Because they've been wrong and they've been back and forth wrong and all the nonsense they've been going through. Not surprising. Support 100 mass vaccine centers. That's a lie again. Literally, at one of my coworkers from my main job, she's going to get. But that story, I gotta tell that story because that's me and her were talking about it today. That was so asinine. That story that she just told me. I'm like, why are you going from a major city to this little town to get the vaccine? She and her husband are gonna get the vaccine. They're gonna get the vaccine tomorrow. But they're in a major metropolitan city, and they're gonna go from there to a town in a country. Why? That don't make no sense. You would think you would have this. If you wanted, you would have it in the city. That don't make no logical sense. It's told me she got to drive all the way to a town where it's not big to get it, but you have a city and the city can get the major part of the city, and they have no place to get vaccines. Are you kidding me? Jeez, ridiculous. Reviewing federal housing policies and blah blah blah. No, you ain't. Again, it's another one he didn't do to a super degree. But again, you could pause it, but it was paused on the other. It was passed under President Trump. So I don't know how this is basically a promise that he did, because that didn't whatever. This one is hilarious. Remember, everybody got on it. Go now and Google, check it, because the mainstream media ain't gonna tell you. Biden is now more than ever. More children are coming in. Again, they're the ones who built the cages. They blame it on Trump for some weird reason when he stopped it. And now, what happened? They're building more cages. That's kind of funny how that works out. They're building more. I'm like, why don't you guys just do the opposite? Stop. Nope. Oh, we need to talk about that. Most of these is just ridiculous. Like, oh, and now you got, they're like, well, there's no problem at the border. Okay. Again, the people say, do you believe with your lying eyes? Well, basically what it is, because I see what it is, more people going down there. This inequality crap is stupid. It's just dumb. Because again, policy reverse the policies of college. This is crazy. Policies of investigation into violence against women. See how that is? Reverse Trump's policies on college investigation of violence against women. Which basically, what that was is, because they remember Obama and Biden passed the Title IX. Hey, how about we investigate to find out, did she really did get that? That's all I want to know. If she did get harassed or violence against, if a woman got violence by a male, and we could prove it, then the male should go to jail. Period. Off the campus, go to jail. But if we can't prove it, we don't throw a guy off of don't take his scholarship away, take his money and everything. That's kind of wrong. We should not do that. If I did something, prove it. And he's gonna change. He changed it back, so a woman could just say, "Hey, he did this. Where's the proof?" Well, I feel bad. Where's the proof? We gotta make sure. That's how stupid that is. And again, this is March. Happy Women's Month for all I care, because I never cared for the whole Black History Month thing either. But for all I care, happy Women's March for Women's Month, International Women's Day, and all this stuff. Oh, wait a minute. He also passed a bill that transgender women could go into biological female sports, and they have. And they've taken away women's scholarships and women's accomplishments and women's track records and fighting records and sports records. I thought we were supposed to be doing this for females. Oh, we're not. That's weird as hell. We joined the nuclear deal with Iran. Why would we do that? And if you guys don't know the story about this one, we gave them, Iran, a ton of money under President Obama. Trump said no, and now we try to re-enjoin it. And Biden is not talking to to Iran and the supreme ruler. It's Kamala Harris. Mostly all the talks have been Kamala Harris, which again, prove me wrong. She's doing all the other stuff. So why not we just stop playing the game and just put her as president and get it over with? The first female president. Get it over with, get it done, put it aside. Okay, just get it over with. Because they had a time, it was a feed that Joe Biden had a feed, and they said, let's ask, I could take questions, and it cut the feed. The White House cut the feed. And what was it again? He's the first president in the last 15 presidents to not have a public speech or a public address, except for tonight, which is, I understand that. But public of people talking to it and get to answer questions, He has never had one in 50 days. He's the first person that does that. Even CNN could acknowledge that. Thank you, CNN. We're supposed to be the most transparent presidency. He don't want to release the visitors log into the White House. So I don't know how that's the first. How you want to be transparent? We went from the most transparent everything, which a lot of people like, okay, he's too damn transparent, to back to silent and stuff, which I said that was going to happen. I also said that the news is going to flip and not continue saying what it is. They went back from attack dogs to dogs being rubbed on their belly. Thank you, Biden. Yes. They're going back to that nonsense now. Yeah. Yep. That's crazy. And then let's go into this one. He sent this one with the 401k thing for the government. This one here, for those who don't understand the 401k thing with the stimulus check and everything, what this fool was, again, as a lot of people say, you don't like the last president, okay, but you know what? What he did a lot of stuff that was simple, easy to understand, whatever. Trump era rules require employees to make decisions around a 401k investment only to consider factors of risk and return. Simple stuff. He didn't care about the social and environmental. He didn't care about it. It's 401k. I don't give a crap what the investment is. Just give me stuff that makes money. That's what it was all about. And the government, one of the biggest liability bombs, other than the college student loan bombs, which the $1 trillion student loan, and one of another bombs is the pensions. And a lot of these federal and state pensions, they're basically broke, just like Social Security is broke, just like Medicare is broke. All these are broke. They're billions of dollars underfunded. So, the businessman, the last person came and said, "Hey, let's make it simple. Let's invest into true and deal." And like I said, into only considering the fund and risk and returns. That's how it's supposed to be about. That's what he's supposed to be. Nope, President Biden. Nope. He didn't do that. He said, "Yeah, let's do the measurements so we could also do with social invest into social stuff and environmental stuff." Here's the thing: a lot of the environmental stuff has failed. A lot of the social stuff and the equity stuff don't mean jack squat. And basically, what that is taking fund and investing into companies like a Cylinder, what happened underneath President Obama, which said we have this great solar power that could do almost 80% energy and blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, they never made the panel. They lied. They made up the story just to get billions of dollars, which is just gone away. Look up Cylinder, look up the story, see what happened, and you see what I'm talking about. So we give them money, and they're not held responsible. Great. I want my 401k to make money, Mr. President, not less money, more money, or basically fund these crazy people so they could take our money from me. I don't like that. I don't. It's not good. But that's what we got going on, though. That's what we got going on. All right. It's just crazy stuff. But also, the House passed this, the Senate did not pass it, and I hope they're not. But they have a simple majority, and it's going to be annoying as hell. Again, Democrats run everything. And I hope this doesn't pass. But I want to. They also with the damn bill. They stopped the $15 million wage thing, which again was thank you that they did that. A lot of people are like, oh, that's if you do not know economics, please do not. That is a bad idea. Bad idea. But people don't understand it. And I will play. I think I have a clip. I don't have it now, but I'll set up for the next show and everything because basically I was frazzled since I was off one night from last week. But I will set things up. But I have a clip. A lot of people don't know where the minimum wage comes from. The minimum wage was basically set up so minorities would never work. Again, by Dems. It's surprising when you go back to and you learn the history of like the Jim Crow laws, just like I did with the last video I did with Uncle Tom, when people don't know where Uncle Tom come from, and people think Uncle Tom is a bad thing. Nope. You can call me Uncle Tom as you want. I like it because you know what? I know that I read the book. He was a hero. And also he was a good God-fearing man, a smart God-fearing man who escaped and saved over 100 slaves. Jeremiah, I forgot his last name, but it's in. If you go to Project Open Mic episode 30 on YouTube, you will see. I showed the story of Uncle Tom's cabin, how it is. But for some reason, we found yeah, well, you are bootlicking. You go for the massa. You read the book? I know a lot of people don't like read books, but please read the book. Because that's a good person, not a bad person. Again, he freed slaves. I don't know how bad that is, but whatever. Crazy. Just crazy. But let's see. We already know last year was a S-storm with the daggone elections. And how you could vote. Some states had you voting 2 months ahead. The most votes we ever had. Again, people are stupid. That's what I don't want. I think people are like, oh, you being, we are a republic, not a democracy. I don't want true democracy. As what his name is, Churchill said, speak to the average person for 5 minutes, you find out you don't want true democracy. That is true. We don't want true democracy because they don't know what the heck they're talking about. You give them a simple thing. Oh, good, bad. A lot of things are in a gray area that you got to critical think. And the schools don't teach critical thinking. College do not teach critical thinking. Parents don't pass on these knowledges because I'm going to do some videos that you guys are going to see on Project Open Mic about certain schools. Holy crap, it's bad. That if I ever get a child, yeah, if God blesses me with a child, I am going to put my child in private school. My mom worked hard my mom and my father worked hard to put me through put me and my sister in private schools, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I have to work hard to put because there ain't no way with some of the stuff that they're teaching in schools that I want to put my kids in. And also for the teachers unions, y'all are bad people. Again, part of the scandemic. You said let the teacher. Nobody said nothing around us. Let the teachers get the vaccine. Let's open back the schools, whatever. Let's give you money. Let's do all these things. And in Chicago, in California, hell, I just learned from my coworker also in Virginia and Washington, D.C. The teachers got all that what they want. The unions, I should say. Let's not say teachers because I don't want to lump all teachers in this. I don't talk in absolutes. But they got what they wanted and they still don't want to go back to school. So wait a minute. So I should not be paying taxes then. My property tax that goes to all these schools. They shouldn't go to that because the homeschooling they're teaching through computers and everything. Miserable failure. It don't work. It does not work. I've talked to many teachers. It don't work. A lot of teachers want to get back in the class. But the teacher unions is just despicable in what they're doing. So why not? But let's continue with the this bill that passed through, so you guys can get a glimpse of what this unheedful crap is. Billing rights and election forms, and for those again who are gonna watch this through Twitch and stuff like that, I have done videos showing how the real, because I don't know Twitch's thing compared to everybody else. But there are two white supremacies. I'll just go in and see what happens. There are two white supremacies. There's one on the right, there's one on the left. And one on the right basically don't like me because of my skin color, whatever. Those people, I don't really care for them because they don't do nothing. And once I know that they don't like me, I'm good. I know where to stay from. I know what not to do. And you like me because of my color. Cool, let's keep on moving, whatever. But the ones on the left, they're the ones who treat minorities like they're pets. And I don't like that. Like, we're stupid, ignoramus morons who don't know nothing, and they are the believe, even though they're the same people saying white people are bad, but you're white. Oh, no, I'm different. Whatever. Again, I'm like, I've shown you when they're like, oh, they think we are so stupid, we don't know how to vote. And of course, the stereotypes of black people, you just keep on letting that happen. They think that you can't vote because you don't know how to use the internet, you don't know how to use a phone, that we are not intelligent enough to register. That's what they think. Literally, I played a video showing people, those same people saying all that stuff, saying it's racist and all that stuff, and we're all criminals and all kind of nonsense. I'm not no pet to nobody. And go, oh, you're nice. Get your hand off me. I don't want you to touch me. Get off of me. But let's play this little thing, this nonsense that they passed. Again, I hope the Senate could kind of, but it's, again, they have a simple majority because the Commonwealth could vote for it. So again, if run by Democrats, let's see what happens.
House of Representatives has passed a sweeping voter rights and elections reform bill. It's called H.R. 1, the For the People Act.
I don't care Republicans, Democrats, I hate when it comes with these fictitious kind of names. The Affordable Care Act, it wasn't affordable. The Patriot Act wasn't patriot. The Sandy Hook Relief Fund, when they had the Sandy Hurricane Relief Fund, yeah, when only 2 million went to when 2 billion, it is billion, when 2 billion went towards only New York and New Jersey to fix up what they needed to fix up. But if the 52 is 54 billion, the 52 billion went towards all over the country to other crap that don't mean nothing. Just like I said about the stimulus bill, majority of the money has gone over to do other stuff. How about help the people? I hate their names because it's the opposite of what the names mean. It literally is. It's so pretentious.
By Democrats, and like so many things these days, it passed almost purely along partisan lines.
Yep.
Every House Republican voted against it, plus one Democrat, Congressman Benny Thompson. He says he voted against it because his constituents opposed the redistricting portion of the bill and the section on public finances. The For the People Act aims to make elections, wait for it, for the people. A similar bill was introduced in Congress in 2019, but it didn't pass because no Republicans voted for that one either. This new For the People bill would introduce big changes to voting procedure nationwide. It expands access to the ballot box with automatic voter registration, early voting, and mail-in votes, things that were key to the Democratic strategy in the 2020 election. One part of the bill replaces state voter ID laws with a federal rule that allows voters to give a sworn statement of voting qualification instead of showing ID. It also contains a measure to create a national system for automatic voter registration.
Wow.
And one that would add transparency requirements for political advertising.
Automatic, so you know that creates so much more fraud. Good grief, these people are horrible people.
On top of that, it changes how congressional districts get drawn. It puts those decisions in the hands of a separate committee instead of elected officials.
Oh, goody.
But all this is just a fraction of what's actually.
And trust me, I read through majority of the bill. I'm just him summarized it just reminded me what I read. I was like, yeah, it's just so,
in the bill. Guess how many pages are in it? 800.
Yep.
That's even larger than the 600-page COVID relief package. If you thought being forced to read 600 pages out loud is tough, wait until you get to 800. The bill will be handed over to the Senate on March 24th. But Senate Democrats openly admit that they do not see a path to getting the 10 Republican votes needed to avoid a filibuster, which would block the bill.
Please.
In fact, some Democrats are counting on Republicans blocking it. I'll get to that later. But so what makes this bill so special? According to Representative Mondaire Jones, this bill fights against modern-day Jim Crow laws.
Which was started by the Democrats. You can't make this S up.
This is of foundational importance. We are, as you just described, experiencing in many parts of this country a new Jim Crow.
That the Democrats started back in the day?
Where the modern day Republican Party has as its project not competing on the merits of its policy ideas, but the disenfranchisement of large swaths of the American electorate, like Black and Hispanic voters in southern states like Georgia and in Arizona. And so the For the People Act is common sense elections reform.
No, it's not. You're lying. You are lying straight to people's faces. No, you're not.
Aimed at preventing the right to vote from being suppressed.
The Brennan Center for Justice, a liberal policy institute, also supports H.R. 1. They say the move towards automatic voter registration is good since it will add tens of millions of voters to the rolls, cost less, and bolster security and accuracy.
How are we gonna bolster security accuracy if you automatically register somebody? Who said they need to vote? Voting is a right, but people don't have to vote. You have a right to vote or not vote. If you see two candidates that's crappy, like I saw back in the day, like, okay, 2004 between John Kerry and George Bush, I was like, no, I'm not. But you're going to automatically register me, and we know you can choose where to put my vote in, which is messed as hell up. That's messed up.
They also support the bill's same-day and online registration to eliminate paperwork and waiting periods.
Wow.
The Brennan Center also says the bill will deter voter purges. They claim voter purges were a key form of voter suppression by election officials in 2018.
But then, by that thought thinking, wait, remember? Yes, I forgot. A lot of people don't know. The reason why the Democrats took over the 2018 registration, whatever, is because a lot of the Republican rhinos, I will call them, those bastards, they didn't like that the last president was draining the swamp, so they basically hightailed it out. I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna get out of here. That's what it was. Democrats didn't win by no sweeping landmine because their policies were just as crappy as the rhinos were, as the damn establishment Republicans. They're just as bad. But because they wanted to stick it to the last president, they say, yeah, I'm going to take my money and run. I'm not running for no whatever. Yeah.
In short, they say the For the People Act needs to do all it can to protect minorities from being targeted by suppression.
How?
Even voter ID laws and cutting back on early voting can be a form of voter suppression.
What? Wait. To prove that who I am to vote is voter suppression. That's the part I'm talking about. That's the part that they think that we're stupid, where everybody has an ID. Everybody has an ID. Oh, wait a minute. That's voter suppression. No, it's not. All you gotta do is, which I did in the last election. You go, you show them your ID, you say who I am. This is me. Here's my ID. Here's my address. You vote. Done. How is that hard? How is that hard?
Why? Because voter ID requirements target minority citizens.
What?
Now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with having to show your ID to get on a plane.
Thank you.
Or to buy a gun.
Thank you.
Hopefully not at the same time. So why does having to show an ID to vote hurt minorities? According to the ACLU, it's because nationally, up to 25% of African American citizens of voting age lack government-issued photo ID, compared to only 8% of whites. To get
Maybe because... Whoa, hold up.
Get an ID, It can cost up to $175.
To become an adult, you got to pay $175. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. So if I want to drive a car, I can get this. And also, most of the IDs like in my state of North Carolina, it's free to get just a government ID. So that's a lie. I don't know other states, but I bet you they have the same kind of situation if you just want a regular ID. Because I know a person who lost their license and couldn't drive and everything, they still needed a ID so they could cash a check and do stuff. And most of those people who they're talking about, they're what? One, they're not adults, maybe, or two, they have a criminal record that maybe abandoned for that, or three, they live in a situation where they're not. Then oh, good grief! I don't know nobody that doesn't have a voter ID. No black person that don't have ID. None, not a one. What I mean, I'm talking about like I talk normally or whatever. Now, do I know people who don't have ID? Yes. And you know what it is? Because one, they don't want to get the ID because they're lazy. Two, they have some kind of thing and they just record, which is still gonna get an ID, but they just don't want to do it. And three, they just like sitting in the squalors and where they are with a Section 8 and all this stuff like that, which is weird because you still need some form of ID to get registered, which basically is your Social Security, so you would get the funds and everything. Just despicable. It is really just despicable.
Many people, that's a lot of money. Now, if the federal government wanted to pay for free IDs for all 21 million Americans who don't have them, it would only cost a couple $billion.
Thank you.
That may sound big, but it would have only been a tiny line item in the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill that just passed.
Yes.
And that thing was 600 pages, so no one would have even noticed. But instead of helping people get IDs, the For the People Act would let people vote without showing ID. In fact, it would do more than that. The act essentially replaces the voter ID laws that some states already have with an option for voters to simply sign a written statement that they are who they say they are and that they're eligible to vote. And that's the biggest concern that opponents of the For the People Act have. No, not the voter ID part per se. The part where this federal bill would completely override state voting laws in many respects.
States. Yeah.
And I'll explain after the break.
Not only that, I want to show again, just to show people. That's give me a second there, everybody. I want to show this to you guys. Let me just put myself back on screen. I want to show this. Let me see. Does this still have it? Yeah, it should be there. Okay, I want to show this because this is what I'm talking about. I've shown this multiple times. I know to the people who've been watching my show, I showed it multiple times. I get it, but I just got to show it because it's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Let me see if we can find that video. Yeah, here you go. Let me see if it will show up. I gotta show this video to show you exactly what I'm talking about. That's kind of weird that it's doing that. Yeah, for those who are watching, I'm a one-man show basically here. Let me see if that.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress.
Okay, so it's there. I want to see if it shows up on the. You guys can see it. Okay. Because I just want to, I want to just show that what the context of what I was saying. I just want to show the context of what was what these people are talking about. Because they really do think they really do think that we're that stupid. There we go. Again, so I want to, again, this, again, I understand, guys. I understand. You guys, a lot of people, there's a lot of people who watch this for, but I got to play because it just makes sense. This is what these people think about the voter ID. All it is to show an ID. All it is to show an ID to say, you can say a picture. Again, you needed to go get a gun. You needed to go cash your check. You needed to go get on a plane or a train. You needed to show that. But to vote, which is just to simply get a ballot and whatever, that's how powerful that the white piece of paper with all the voting is, and that's how they want to corrupt a lot of people. But again, let's listen to how these people think about
Press
us.
the black vote.
Listen again.
Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad.
I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
And there's more people.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right?
That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that. It's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually
Unlimited.
Unlimited data.
Mm-hmm.
I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you?
And I only play that to show what I'm saying. Yeah, same thing for me too. I have a phone here. Here. All right. As much as I am, I have a phone here. It's Cricket. It's unlimited data for $45. What the heck? I'm not paying $45 for unlimited data. It's just stupid. They pretend those are the people I don't like that you just saw. Those white people are the people I don't like because they think we're stupid. That's why. And that is why they're trying their bestest to get this nonsense, this thing passed, because they know that if they do this, they got access to the power to do all crappy stuff. Hell, I give a good example. Goldman Sachs just announced, and I guarantee you, I hope this. Let's see how this works out again. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Goldman Sachs just give probably $10 billion to black women. I guarantee you, they ain't gonna do not a dip in nothing. $10 billion, $1 billion a year for the next 10 years to black women. Black women, if I was you, if you're out there, go to Goldman Sachs and say, where's my money? Go ahead. We're only 13% of the population. Go ahead and go get your money. Goldman Sachs, I want some of that. Give that to my family. My family I got family females. Go and give them the money so you can give it to black women so they could prosper better. Because the people who put education first, I had a conversation with my mom, which she gonna do a response video you guys want to see. With my mom about this video where this woman did not know what her child was doing and blamed the school, which again, the school is part of the problem, but the child had a 0.13 grade point GPA, missed 300 and something days in school, and she's surprised. She's like, "Oh, my child's supposed to be graduating." No, he got pushed back to 9th grade. What? Well, I did not know. For 4 years, you didn't check his. You did not check his report card, lady. Nothing. Didn't know where your son is. Nothing. No. And like I said, that's the nonsense that's happening. Again, for anybody else, I don't speak for all black people. I don't speak for the black community. The black community do not speak for me. I am by myself in my thoughts and my opinions. All right? I do have people that jump onto the side chat on Thursdays and Fridays, and they talk about this stuff. But this nonsense, no. This is why I play that clip, because they are using that. They think of we as stupid people. They think black people are inferior, stupid, and ignorant. Hey, let me help you out with something. Every race has stupid, ignorant people. Asian, blacks, white, Hispanic, no matter what it is that. Okay? That condescension that they have to make us look like we're feeble-minded people is so irritating. But anyway, let's continue so you know what's going on, like I said, in the bill, because it's more crazier.
Welcome back. As I mentioned, every congressional Republican is opposed to H.R. 1, the For the People Act that just passed in the House. The biggest issue is not any single provision, but that as a federal law, it overrides many of the state's constitutional rights to govern their own elections. Here's what a former Federal Election Commission member said a couple weeks ago.
Because I don't care whether you're a Republican state legislator or a Democratic state legislator, you ought to be angry at the idea that Washington is going to usurp your role and tell you how to run elections in your state.
Here's what former Vice President Mike Pence wrote in an op-ed last week. H.R. 1 mandates the most questionable and abuse-prone election rules nationwide, while banning common-sense measures to detect, deter, and prosecute election fraud. Republicans argue the For the People Act is just a power grab by Democrats.
It is.
That allows ballot harvesting, election fraud, and voting by felons. Specifically, they fear it would not only open the door for direct election fraud through expanded mail-in ballots and removing voter ID requirements, but it would also add more registered voters. Specifically, it would make it easier for convicted felons and illegal immigrants to vote. And the presumption is that they'd mostly vote for Democrats.
Duh.
The conservative National Review calls the For the People Act an authoritarian outrage. And they say Democrats want to corrode the system because they believe it will help them win.
It does.
There's another issue with the 800-page For the People Act. It's not just about loosening restrictions on who can vote. It's about tightening restrictions on political speech. As Reason magazine, which is libertarian, says, the legislation tackles a host of questions involving campaign finance, political speech, and online speech, and its effects would all but silence citizens' abilities to speak about and criticize politicians and their policies.
Yeah.
For example, the bill requires lengthy disclosures on any paid online political ad, or even meme. And these disclosures would have to include the sponsor's name and give a means for the viewer to find the sponsor's street address, telephone number, and website URL.
Wow.
Look, if the Russian government is behind,
and that's for that's for memes now, which is just pictures and funny things, whatever. That's crazy.
The political ad, you'd probably say, yeah, we have a right to know. And that's actually the context the bill gives for the new rules. But the way the bill is written, it also affects individual American citizens. Let's say you're part of a minority group that's being suppressed. If you pay for an online political ad, your name and address would be exposed to the public. And what if you have an unpopular point of view? The Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, says this will expose millions of Americans to the radical left's cancel culture crusade.
Yep.
On the other side of the spectrum, it could also expose minorities to intimidation by white supremacists.
Which is
but the
on
main
the one on the
thing it
left.
will do is just make Americans less willing to voice their political ideas. And that just helps the people who are already in power. Huh. Funny the people in power would write that into the bill.
Exactly.
Here's the former FEC member I mentioned earlier again.
This is one of the worst bills I've ever seen in my years in Washington.
But good news for people who oppose the bill. The Senate Republicans are probably going to block it with the filibuster.
Yep.
But is that part of Democrats' plan all along? I'll explain after the break.
That's just despicable.
Welcome back. Some Democrats may be hoping their For the People bill actually gets blocked by a Senate filibuster. Sure, that would kill this particular bill, but then Democrats can use it to argue that the filibuster system itself needs to be killed.
Which again, oops, sorry.
Democrats the ability to pass anything.
Which is that is true. They put them in that situation because here's the thing: the filibuster was set up for the Democrats so they could not give slaves reparations. Again, if you go back to the history and learn about how these things got set up, you're gonna find out, wow, these are some horrible, horrible people. Really bad people doing this thing. The minimum wage, the Jim Crow laws, literally where the KKK comes from. All this stuff, you find all these things if you go back to the history. That's why they're trying to erase history, to find out all this stuff. Despicable.
They want. Here's how the filibuster works. To pass a bill in the Senate, it needs at least 51 votes. And Democrats have 51 votes, including Vice President Harris. But before a vote can happen, senators first need to agree that they're done debating the bill. So senators who don't want a bill to come to a vote can filibuster, which means to continue the debate endlessly. To stop a filibuster, that requires 60 votes. So the filibuster ends up protecting the minority party, and it forces a certain measure of bipartisanship in the Senate. Senators used to actually filibuster, as in make speech after speech all day and night to continue the debate, like the lost causes scene in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. But nowadays, they don't have to do that. Everyone just knows that you can't get a bill passed without 60 votes. So if they don't have that, the bill is essentially done. In 2021, the minority party is the Republicans. and that's why Democrats want to get rid of the filibuster. It's the only way to pass some of their agenda items.
And I'll say this too, that again, this is negative against President Trump because he also wanted to do the nuclear deal, which could be 50-50 when he was president. And again, I am no fan of Mitch McConnell, but he did block it, and that's what I said no, and I respect that. That's the only thing I would give Mitch. Other than that, Mitch is not a good person in my opinion. But yes, I'm happy that he did not give President Trump that power because again, what people keep on getting, you don't want to give these people more power. Because they will never be in Congress all the time. But we'll see how this work out. But they won't be in power all the time. And that's what I meant to say. I apologize. They're not going to be in power all the time. So I never understand why do we give. I didn't want to give Bush power because when the Democrats gain side, they're going to take that same power and abuse it, which they did. Obama was against all the stuff with the spying on people, whatever, and all that stuff. And I agree with Obama on that one when he said it back then when he was in the Senate. He became president. Oh, he took it to the next level with the NSA. Wait. I thought you were against it. Oh, now you're for it. And you took it to the next level. And then when he was getting all the stuff that was won, whatever, then the Republicans get over, and the Republicans, it's a never-ending S cycle. It literally is. And I don't want that.
Republicans are planning a filibuster to stop the For the People Act. This gives Democrats a reason to argue it's time to eliminate the legislative filibuster so that the Senate can approve bills with a simple majority.
They don't need
and
that.
If Democrats succeed at eliminating the filibuster, they'll be able to pass any bill they want.
Yep.
At least for the next 2 years. After that, Republicans could potentially control the House and Senate and pass any bill they want.
Which is stupid.
You can see how this might be a problem in the long term.
Yes, because there's going to be rules, and then when we send the rules, that's not no way to run a effing country.
But that's in the future. The important thing is that killing the filibuster would give Democrats more power now. And that's why more Democrats are joining the effort to kill the filibuster as a way of saving Biden's agenda.
Ugh.
The only problem is President Biden. As a former senator, Biden is so far not supporting filibuster reform, which pits him against more activist Democrats.
Problem is, though, Kamala Harris isn't, though.
And it's unclear which side will back down first. So what do you think? Do you think the For the People Act is actually for the people?
No, it's for the elites. It's for the elites. It's never for the people. Like I said, all these fancy words they come up with, it's always the opposite of what they say it's going to be. It always is. It's for the elites. That's what that is. Just annoying. It is just annoying. Another thing I want to play. I want to just show you stuff right here. I still don't. Fauci is basically a teenage female who needs adoration. He doesn't know he's a doctor. I'm not denying that he was a doctor. He's not a practicing doctor. He's not in there taking tests and stuff. And he knocked down people who literally, again, the Barrington Institution, where they have doctors and scientists who actively are testing, doing real stuff with COVID virus, doing everything and all this stuff, actively doing this. Fauci has been back and forth, flip-flopping so much time, been wrong multiple times. Yeah, I still don't understand how the heck this man get paid more than the president. You don't do nothing except talk. But for some reason it is. That's one. Two. Funny. Remember, I said, again, prove me wrong. They don't, the people, they can't prove me wrong. What did I say? For those who don't know, but I said this multiple times in the show. When it was Donald Trump in there, they had a death ticker. I said, as soon as Biden becomes president, that death ticker is going to go away. CNN, MSNB, I showed you on MSNB one a while back. CNN, vaccine distributed, vaccine administered. Where's the death ticker? Where's the hundreds and the millions of people who died? Nope. Don't want to talk about it. Funny enough, Cuomo and Gretchen Whitmer and I forgot the governor for Philadelphia who put COVID patients in senior homes and kill thousands, not 1,000, not 10,000, not 20. They kill thousands of elderly people with their decision. They should go to jail. I don't care about Cuomo. Oh, he's a sexist pig. I give a bunkus about that. He killed people. So did Whitmer. So did the president, and so did Newsom. All those, their decision put COVID patients inside senior citizen homes. Despicable. That's what should be more. He should resign. Resign is too good. The bum should be in jail for what he did. All 3-4 of those people I just named, they should be in jail because they kill people. Not only did they kill people, they killed businesses and everything like that. Just despicable. But I want you to hear something right here because this is very important too. I want to hear about this.
The Biden administration that they say it will make its decisions based on science. What's the science behind not saying it's safe for people who have been vaccinated, receive 2 doses, to travel?
You know, that's a very good question, John. And the CDC is carefully heading in that direction. You know, when Dr. Walensky made the announcement a day or two ago about the fact that when you have a couple of people, 2 or 3 or more people in a family setting, both of whom are vaccinated, even if it's someone from a friend that doesn't have to be a member of the family, that was the first in a multi-step process that they are going to be rolling out. They're being careful, understandably. They want to get science. They want to get data. And then when you don't have the data and you don't have the actual evidence, then you've got to make a judgment call.
What? I hope you heard what he just said. I'll let Dave Woomer finish off. I hope he goes. That's Fauci's word.
Did you catch the last part of that?
Yeah,
when you don't have the data and you don't have the evidence, then you have to make a judgment call. So he's admitting that they don't have the data and they don't have the evidence. Well, Fauci, I know you get over a $400,000 salary from the government. You're the highest paid person in government, and I have no doubt that you have investments in all sorts of companies that made a lot of money during this whole thing.
Of course.
And you became a big star and all of this stuff. But maybe you owe some people who were out of jobs and whose families and lives you destroyed, maybe you owe them an apology. I mean, they're basically telling you, we're going to do stuff without evidence and then we'll figure it out later. This is not acceptable anymore. This is not acceptable. I'm not going to pay attention to you anymore. I know.
Well, I never paid attention many times before because he don't know what he's talking about. Sorry. So I don't want to. Let's end up with this. Women. This is Women's Month. Women's Month. Sis boom ba. Hooray, hooray for the females. Women. Yay. Remember, this is for the women now. Again, y'all cheered. Y'all voted for this man. That's all good. I ain't got nothing against that. Your vote is your vote, what it is. But there's a problem. Ayn Rand basically said this again. So many people said this stuff in the past that this is going to happen. So he's like, again, prove me wrong. You ain't going to prove me wrong. Y'all proving me right. Ayn Rand said that when you have so many different constituents and you do all the stuff by race or by people or by gender and all that stuff, but you have so many factions that you're gonna piss off or you're gonna hurt the other people by saying crazy stuff. And we're gonna do some financial stuff and everything in the next video unless no super news come up. But again, we'll see. It's just crazy. But remember, Joe Biden, I'm for women, but you sign a law that said excuse me. You did an executive order that men could compete against biological women and take their scholarship, their money, and their records away. How are you for females by doing that, sir? Logical sense is what I'm talking about. You're not. Oh, we don't want no scandals. Okay, remember, and also I love when people say, "Oh, we didn't have no scandals in the Again, I could list all the scandals that Obama had. Okay, so stop lying. Fast and Furious, Benghazi, the Ukraine, the war, the other wars they had over there, IRS. Jeez, so many daggone scandals they had. But from Andrew, of course, from the Walk Don't Run, he's gonna show you something again. The hypocrisy of these people. These elite people don't care about you. They don't.
Is President Joe Biden. On February 11th, Biden visited the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. While touring the complex, he wore 2 masks, a black cloth mask on top of an N95 mask. And this doesn't make any sense, because this N95 mask by 3M, the exact model that the president was wearing, already has enough layers to filter 95% of airborne particles. There is no benefit to wearing a cloth mask over an N95 mask. If anything, it's making it harder to breathe. And this guy's brain needs all the oxygen it can get.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Anyway, after his tour, he went to an auditorium to address NIH staff members.
Had a little discussion with my friends behind me, Dr. Collins and Dr. Fauci, about whether or not I should take my mask off.
Notice that Biden is no longer wearing the white N95 mask. I mean, if anything, he should have kept that one on instead of the cloth mask. But as we all know, Joe Biden leans into the science.
And the truth is, although we're more than 10 feet away, I think it's important that I not. It's critically important, the message.
So even though President Biden has taken both doses of the Pfizer vaccine and has likely built an immunity against the virus, and even though he is in a large auditorium socially distanced from everyone, he's going to wear the least effective mask, not because of science, but because of messaging. Let's be very real here. Biden preaching to Americans that they should wear masks isn't going to change anyone's mind. If you're either for the masks or you're against them.
It's the mask. True.
You know that wearing this mask through the next year.
And you know, it's funny too, and the CDC also, which is again now by the administration, say, don't touch the mask. You already don't see them touch the mask 2-3 times already.
Year here can save lives, a significant number of lives.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're gonna be wearing masks through the end of next year? What happened to the 100-day masking challenge?
One of our 100-day challenges is asking the American people to mask up for the first 100 days, the next 99 days.
Yeah, we're gonna be wearing masks for the next 4 years, aren't we? But if President Biden is so concerned about messaging, he needs to do a better job. For example, guidance on the CDC's website explicitly states, do not touch the mask when wearing it. And yet, during his address, he proceeded to touch his mask over and over and over and over again. Here's a pro tip from the CDC, Joe. If you have to often touch/adjust your mask, it doesn't fit you properly, and you may have to find a different mask or make adjustments. In total, Biden...
In other words, you should have had the N95 mask still on.
Touched his mask 33 times. But hey, at least he didn't do this. So anyone watching his speech can be excused for asking questions like, why isn't the President of the United States competent enough to adjust a mask properly? Or why can't his staff get him a mask that fits?
That fits, which is making sense. You're the President of the United States. He's correct. That's just logical sense.
Speaking of messaging, the Biden administration is inconsistent. As an example, President Biden finds that it's important to wear the mask in an auditorium where he is easily 20 feet away from everyone so that he can virtue signal the importance of wearing masks. Yet the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, removes her mask every time she enters the briefing room and takes questions from members of the press who are sitting within just a few feet of her podium.
What I can speak to, if it's of interest, of the stuff.
And she is an inept person. Seriously, there's way more women could be more confident, they're more capable than this woman doing. But I digress.
Steps we're all taking to make sure that we are safe, he is safe, you are all safe. Those include daily testing when we're in the White House. It includes wearing N95 masks. I wore it out, of course, here today, and will continue to do.
Why did you set yourself up to lie, lady? But we'll see.
And we'll continue to do that.
But there is no consistency. One day she'll have an N95 mask, on another she'll be wearing a surgical mask. Some days she'll wear a KN95 mask, and on another day she'll wear the surgical mask again. And yes, folks, she is putting it on inside out. It just goes to show that the administration is more concerned with virtue signaling about masks and less concerned with actually wearing them properly.
Thank you.
Sad, really. Okay, enough about masks. Let's talk about staffing.
Yeah, because let's talk about women. This is Women's Month. Let's talk about women. Hey, ladies, how you doing? Remember, Joe Biden says, any disrespect, we're gonna fire people day one. If you just, I know that they were on the spot, and I'm for women. Really, Joe?
This is TJ Ducklow. You may remember him from the following exchange with Bret Baier on Fox News.
Says Joe. DJ Ducklow, an instant prick. But anyway.
Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer Q&A with supporters?
Brett, we are not going to engage. This is straight from the Trump campaign.
But yeah, they're using it.
And what it does, Brett, is it's trying to distract the American people.
They're using it. They talk about it every day. Can you say yes or no?
That's because they talk about it every day, Brett, because they don't have a coherent
well, you have
strategy.
an answer.
They are desperate to throw anything they can against the wall to try to distract from that fact.
I understand, but you can't answer the question.
Don't worry, Bret Baier. Maybe TJ will circle back to you. So recently, it has been revealed that Ducklow has been in a serious relationship with Axios political reporter Alexi McCammond.
And why she's important? Because she's now trying to become the head chief of Teen Vogue, and that is a show that's going on right now. That's crazy. Surprise, surprise. Both people are just pricks, the female and the male.
Since November 2020. And as you can guess, when it comes to a relationship between a White House official and a journalist, there are some ethics concerns.
Yes.
Now, according to reporting by Kayla B. Karma for Vanity Fair, on January 20th, Tara Palmieri, a reporter at Politico, contacted McCammond about her relationship with Ducklow. Ducklow then called Palmieri on the phone in an effort to kill the story. But then, things went horribly wrong.
Oh, it did.
Ducklow reportedly told the reporter, "I will destroy you," then added that he would ruin her reputation if she published it, and then made derogatory and misogynistic comments toward Palmieri.
Oh yeah, we're for the women.
Now, this is where it gets really juicy. The following day, on January 21st, an editor at Politico reached out to the White House about Ducklow's threats and spoke to senior White House officials, including Press Secretary Jen Psaki, Communications Director Kate Benefield, and Senior Advisor Anita Dunn. During a call, these senior White House officials acknowledged that Ducklow's handling of the call with Palmieri was inappropriate. You think? In another conversation, the same White House officials took aim at Palmieri by accusing her of breaking an off-the-record agreement with Ducklow and pressing Politico as to why the contents of the call had been revealed. So these three women tried to defend Ducklow's despicable actions by saying, sure, he sexually harassed a reporter and threatened her career, but the contents of that call were off the record and shouldn't have been revealed to anyone.
As I said, women. Women destroying other women. Am I surprised by this? No. 3 women against 1 woman who just asked a simple question, defending a guy who's You see the cabal of these people? But let's keep going.
While Ducklow was very much against Politico asking questions, he was totally fine with granting People magazine with an exclusive puff piece interview where girlfriend Alexi McHammond is quoted as saying, "TJ and I knew full well the unfair criticism our relationship might face, but knew that we weren't going to let bullies get in the way of our own happiness."
It's unethical what you're doing, lady. You ain't supposed to be doing that.
They know news of their relationship will stir disapproval over the optics and the timing at least. The way the press covers politicians in Washington, D.C. is endlessly scrutinized. Too lax or too harsh. Too familiar, too fond. Aw, you see, it's just two lovebirds against the world. But Ducklow and McHammond's strategy to get ahead of the story gloriously backfired, because that opened the door for information about the Politico incident to be leaked to Vanity Fair. So, after the Vanity Fair piece was published, there was speculation that Ducklow would be fired. Specifically because that's the standard that President Biden set when swearing in his staff.
But I'm not joking when I say this. If you're ever working with me and I hear you treat another colleague with disrespect, talk down to someone, I promise you I will fire you on the spot. On the spot.
Well, Mr. President, I hope you do that. Hey, prove me wrong that you're going to do that, all right?
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Okay.
Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency and dignity.
And you know that he's not joking because he hit his finger against that podium in a very serious manner. So, on February 12th, the day after the Vanity Fair article hit, Press Secretary Jen Psaki put out a tweet to address the matter. With the approval of the White House Chief of Staff, Ducklow has been placed on a 1-week suspension without pay.
Whoa, hold up. He just said terminated. What suspension? What?
Termination, suspension of pay, same difference. Later that day,
have you been
despicable people? Despicable people. They don't care about
responded to a question regarding the Ducklow situation.
TJ Ducklow, who is the deputy who you're asking about, has apologized to the reporter, quite shortly after the comments were made. He had a heated conversation about a story related to his personal life. I'm not saying that's acceptable, but I just want to be clear that it was not about an issue related to the White House.
It is an issue related to the White House. That's not that's unethical the way you're doing when a journalist is supposed to be doing that.
Or a White House policy or anything along those lines.
Yes, it is.
That's a lie. The entire point of Politico's investigation was because of the implications of a White House official being romantically involved with a political reporter that covers the White House. So yes, it had everything to do with issues related to the White House.
Thank you.
Oh, she's so bad at her job.
In addition to his initial apology, he sent the reporter a personal note expressing his profound regret.
Oh, he sent her a personal note? Gosh, that was nice of him.
He has been placed, as you noted, on a 1-week suspension without pay. That is a significant step. I'm not aware of a history of that step being taken. You all can check me on that.
Guys, don't you see? No one at the White House has ever been suspended without pay before. This is a historic moment that should be celebrated. You reporters just don't get it.
And in addition, when he returns, he will no longer be assigned to work with any reporters at Politico. We don't want, no one wants anyone to feel.
That's a problem. I'll let Andrew explain it. If you don't understand how that's a messed up problem.
Uncomfortable, to be put in an uncomfortable position.
Don't worry, ladies. You'll never have to work with TJ Ducklow ever again. Just as long as you work at Politico.
My colleague Kate Bedingfield reached out to an editor at Playbook to convey our apology. We've reached out at every level there to convey our apology and been clear this will never happen again. And it is not going to be tolerated here at the White House.
So let me remind you of this timeline. Psaki, Bedingfield, and Dunn were all aware of Ducklow's threats on January 21st. And Ducklow wasn't suspended until February 12th. Which means that his behavior went unpunished for 23 days.
And that's not behavior that we will tolerate. So those were the steps that were taken, and we felt it was a serious punishment.
Yet, for 23 days, senior staff seemed to tolerate the fact that he threatened a woman because, again, they only suspended him after the White House was embarrassed by a Vanity Fair article. And not only does it go against the president's supposed standards, but also Jen Psaki's standards as well. Listen to part of her opening statement during her very first press briefing.
I know, right?
When the president asked me to serve in this role, we talked about the importance of bringing truth and transparency back to the briefing room. Rebuilding trust with the American people will be central to our focus in the press office and in the White House every single day.
24 days later.
There were conversations that occurred with the reporter as well as editors at Politico immediately after the conversation occurred. That was how we engaged in a private manner, and that was what we felt was appropriate at the time.
Translation: it was a private matter that was supposed to stay private. And we would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling reporters. Anyway, the next day on his Twitter account, TJ Ducklo publicly resigned. Nice that President Biden let him resign with dignity instead of firing him on the spot like he said he would. How are we supposed to believe that Biden is going to be tough on Russia and China when he can't even keep a promise and fire a member of his staff? In his statement, Ducklo wrote, "I know this was terrible. I know I can't take it back, but I also know that I can learn from it and do better. This incident is not representative of who I am as a person."
Yes it is, you lying piece of crap.
No, it's exactly who you are, TJ.
Yeah.
And that was the problem.
Yeah, instant prick. That's what you are, sir, a prick. I tell you, these people are despicable people. So, there you go. I wish I said it. I have a video on Project Open Mic on YouTube. I said I went changing between Trump and Biden. I said, prove me, guys, prove me wrong. Y'all are the president, vice president, prove me wrong. Please do good. Please do not do what I said. All the past videos I said y'all gonna do. Nope. They didn't prove. They proved me right. They didn't prove me wrong. They proved me right. And I'm surprised people just, I know the media, again, the media does not. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CNN, CBS, Good Morning America, all those news organizations now are goody, buddy with everything. Now they're not being attack dogs. Here's the thing. It was unfair how they did it with Trump, but here's the problem. I want you to stay at attack dogs for all administration. I don't care. Stay Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever, the first woman, first black. I don't give a crap. Stay as an attack dog. That's what you're supposed to be. I don't want no damn buddy up to nothing. Let us know what's going on with the damn administration. And of course, you're like, well, we're going to try transparency again. What transparency? You have not given a physical test. You have not taken any questions. Nothing. He did it on the live feed, and he also did it a while ago back too. They shut down the where was it, up in Washington D.C. when it was out at a hardware store talking about this stuff. And what did they did? Oh, they're like, okay, we have questions about the immigrants. Remember I said cages. The immigrants are cages. You're building more cages. I thought Trump was blah blah blah. And then here's the people. No questions. Keep it moving. More questions. Get out of here, please. I was like, wait. Biden has not answered no question from the journalists. Transparency, my butt. Am I surprised? No, because again, they have proved me right. They proved me 100% correct. Not even iffy 100%, not even iffy correct. They proved me 100% solidly, as Biden did, prove me right. It's ridiculous. Oh my goodness, these people are just horrible people, just bad people. Oh man, so I'm not surprised of that at all. But you know what? Let's see how the next 4 years is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Again, Kamala Harris has already done taking over certain things that Joe Biden should be doing. Am I surprised? No, because she's going to be the first president. I just said, I'm like, just go right ahead, please. Just make her the first president so we get all the stupid fanfare, all the fake, oh my God, the first female, blah, blah. Get that out of the way. This is stupid. I didn't care for it when it was Obama being the first black, whatever. I don't care for the woman, whatever. I don't care for that stuff no more because it doesn't mean nothing. it doesn't mean nothing no more. These are horrible people doing horrible things. Jeez, but whatever. Again, I want to thank you guys for joining me again. I apologize again last week for not doing the show, but I told you what it is. My family came in. I have basically have my family. I'll tell you this right now, out of my house back home and stuff like that. But I have one here. So I have a house here now that I work hard to get, and have it that all my family members, aunt, sister, mother, grandmother, everybody can have a bed for themselves. It's hard work. And I got here coming from a place where we were poor. And it was a house, my house that I grew up in could fit in my living room. That's sad, but true. But anyway, it's good to have that. I thank the Lord for that in that regard. Again, I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. I do believe in that. But again, thank you guys for giving me your time, your ears, your eyes, and hopefully again, no matter what platform you're on, YouTube, Facebook, Temper FM, Twitch. Hope you guys can share the video. Again, I have no problem talking to people about stuff because that's why I call it Project Open Mic. For those people that is new to Twitch and everything, we're gonna have a show tomorrow called Side Chat. We have other people joining and we talk about random things, just conversation starters. We don't really have a topic. Whatever topic is at the time, we talk about. We have different people coming together and talk about it. So you guys, that's 9 p.m. at 9 p.m. Eastern, American Eastern Time. That's where we do that show. So, hey, join in. Again, hoist your opinions, your comments, everything in that. And again, share it up. Project Open Mic is something that I started just to get people into things. So we're going to keep on expanding more and more and more onto Spotify, iHeart, and all the other stuff as best as we can going further. So again, thank you guys for giving me your time. Hope you guys have us be safe, because I know so a lot of people who watch this show doesn't really watch the side chat. It's not a good crossover yet. We're not close to 50-50 yet, but thank you. Hope you, if you don't got, join us back again 9 o'clock next week, Thursday for the next Project Over Mic for the schedule. Tuesdays is Straight No Chasers video. Thursdays Project Open Mic, where we talk about stuff, topical issues and everything, and random talks. We talk about video games, we talk about politics, we talk about all kind of stuff. The side chat's Friday, 9 p.m. as well, Eastern Time. That said, again, remember, evil comes in all shapes, sizes, color, gender, sex, height, religion, creed, party. Evil is evil. Remember, people are stupid, individuals are smart. Please be that smart individual. Please be that smart individual and learn stuff. I'm gonna teach some more stuff about financials in future video, because also with what Joe Biden signed, it affects financially, and I'm gonna put it away so you guys can have, I would say, have what do you call it? Know how to handle it in the future. So with that said, peace out. Have a good night. Get you next time.